the channel, it's the return of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and we're counting down my Top 5 WWE Mattel suited wrestling figures.
The spirit of the warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5. A Thursday tradition here on the channel, as every single Thursday, we're counting down my Top 5 or Top 10 favorite of something. And today, I was getting ready for work. Oh, you get work life Kyle here today. I was getting ready for work, and I said to myself, you know what? I should do a suited countdown video, as some of the suited figures that we have received from the WWE Mattel line over the years are some of my absolute favorite figures Mattel has put out. And sometimes I would say suited figures are a bit of a sleeper figure, as maybe they don't get the love they do deserve. And we're going to give them a little bit of love today in this top 5 countdown list. Of course, we're going to start at number 5. Work our way to number 1. I'm going to ask you guys and gals out there, get your list together, because remember, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's get after it. Let's count down the top 5 WWE Mattel suited figures of all time. All right, we kick off the countdown at number 5, and we're going to work our way to number 1, like I did say. And number 5 comes to us from the Mattel Elite Legends Series line. This comes to us from Mattel Legends Series 9. This is a chase figure. What are we talking about? We're talking about the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase Chase Edition from Legends Series 9. Now, there was 2 versions, of course, the more traditional black suit Ted DiBiase in that line. But for me, this silver one, it is one that is very, very iconic, but one that was not worn as much as the black suit, or even the green suit. The green suit gets a lot of popularity as well. Love that green suit, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Hasbro back in the day. That didn't get worn a whole lot either. This one got worn just a little bit, but enough to be dangerous, enough to be very, very memorable, and to be very iconic. And I did place a Jakks Deluxe Classic Superstars World Title belt on this one for added effect, because we do remember that scene with this outfit here. But this one is always very striking to me. I don't know if it's my favorite per se, but it is my favorite as far as the Legends line go, and this is a bit of a sleeper figure if you ask me after all this time. And one that you really don't think of as suit. You think of a suit like something like this. This isn't necessarily a suit, more of an outfit, but it technically is a suit at the end of the day, and that is why it is on this list. So coming in at number 5, Legends Series 9 Chase Edition, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Next up in our top 5 countdown, we're at the number 4 spot. The number 4 spot is one of those sleeper figures. It's been probably 10 years since this figure came out. This was actually a Build-A-Figure, and there was a long time where in the Mattel Elite line especially, the only way we were really getting suited figures was in Toys R Us Build-A-Figure waves. There was basic Build-A-Figure waves. You know, we got the Johnny Aces of the world, we got the Paul Bearers, and we also got one that comes in at number 4. We got Booker T. Now, Booker T on TV in suits all the time now is one of the commentators on NXT, so every week we get a little of this Booker T. But there's just something cool about this, something different, especially for the time frame. Absolutely do like this one. And like I said, this could be the sleeper of the list. One a lot of people probably have or have forgotten about, I guess I should say, is it is really cool Booker T. It looks like Booker T. I love the glasses, and when this does come up for sale, not very often anymore, the glasses are usually a missing ingredient, and that is always tough to replace those, because there's probably more Booker T heads out there than glasses at this point. But a very cool one, and I love the differences in the appearance, because usually you get the gray suit, the black suit, you get a black tie, red tie, no tie. This one you get a little bit of color, a little pizzazz to this suited figure with the yellow undershirt and the pink tie. Like I said, the glasses on Booker is something different, and then you got the long hair on Booker T as well. Just a striking figure, and possibly the sleeper of this list, like I did say. So coming in at number 4, we got Booker T. Build-A-Figure. We've hit the halfway point in our top 5 suited figure countdown here on the channel, and number 5 is one of the all-time greats. When I think of suits in the WWF days, this is one of the guys I always think of, and I always loved his colorful suits, his crazy colored rose glasses, blue glasses. I think you know where I'm going. We're going to the Walmart exclusive collector's edition Gorilla Monsoon. Definitely a different kind of suit. Got a little bow tie action going on. Gorilla, a fancy, snazzy dresser back in the day. I always loved Gorilla Monsoon and the crazy outfits. It almost looked like he turned his suit coats inside out a lot of time, like a young Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, really, at the end of the day. But I always did love this figure a whole lot. A sleeper figure. He did come, of course, packed with 2 different suit coats. You could choose your own suited adventure with Gorilla Monsoon. I went for the maroon, just it's a little bit more snazzy and it's a little bit more gorilla, but you could put him in the black. If I had to go back in time, I would have bought 2 different versions of these to unbox. Have one in his black suit, one in his maroon suit. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll find a loose one, something like that. We'll see what happens. But definitely a cool figure, this Gorilla Monsoon. Absolutely do like this one. One of the all-time great figures that gets a little overlooked after all this time, and Gorilla, such a huge part of 80s WWF. Would love to see more Gorilla Monsoon figures in the future. Give me a wrestling Gorilla. Jax did it. No reason Mattel can't do it, but just a very cool representation of Gorilla in a suit, and that's why he comes in at number 3 in the top 5 list. We've arrived at the number 2 spot in our top 5 countdown, and the number 2 figure, when I think of this wrestler, he is the first person that comes to my mind when I think of suits. When I think of a wrestler in a suit, who do I think of? Who do you think of first? And this is the character that I think of. Who is it? Of course, it is the Nature Boy. It is Ric Flair, and this is a Walmart exclusive flashback basic line. Yes, basic. And that brings up the point where before this, it's been a lot of elite, of course, suited figures, but basics is a lot of times where we get a lot of these suited figures from, of course. And I do think the WWE team at Mattel, they could give us some more suited figures, street gear figures in the basic line, and I think those figures do cross over with elite collectors as well, just like this Ric Flair figure crosses over to elite collectors. Just an absolute fabulous Ric Flair figure here. Of course, you think of Flair, you think of him in a suit. This is old school NWA, Jeff Flyin', you know the whole tagline there. But looking good on this one. Great suit for Ric Flair, just missing the title belt. But it is what I think of when I think of NWA heavyweight champion Ric Flair. I love the glasses that stick on here. Just a really, really good look. Just an all-around great Ric Flair. And when I think of Ric Flair in a suit back in the heyday, this is exactly what it is in action figure form. So absolutely love this one. A bit of a sleeper, and it's crazy how that basic flashback Walmart sets, part of the James J. Dillon Build-A-Figures set wave, how hard those have been to get over the last few years, and the value on those. That JJ Build-A-Figure, extremely expensive in the aftermarket after all these years. Quite the figure here. Like I said, this is the definition of Ric Flair in a suit in action figure form for me. There was no doubt it was going to be on my list, but it's coming in at number 2. But who is going to be number 1? What suited figure is going to be number 1? Well, if you know me, you probably know the answer, but stay tuned. The time is now. We're at the number 1 spot in my top 5 suited WWE Mattel figures of all time. Do you got your list together? Make sure you put it in the comments down below. Make sure you put it in order. That is always the hard part. That is always the fun part, as I always do say. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this very YouTube channel, as every single Thursday, we're doing special countdowns of top 5s and top 10s. Dangerously close to 30,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and when we do hit that, we will do a special top 10 countdown, so stay tuned for that one. But now is the time. It's time to get down to number 1, and I think if you've been following this channel for a while, you probably can guess what the number 1 figure is for me. The all-time great for me is, of course, the Ultimate Warrior, and we're going back to the Legends line. We're going to the Legends Ultimate Warrior, the suited Farewell Edition Ultimate Warrior, of course, from his famous last appearance on Monday Night Raw, dying just a couple hours after that he filmed that. Just one of the craziest things I've ever experienced, not just in wrestling, but in my entire life. Such a moving speech, such a passionate, inspiring speech that Warrior gave. And he gave a lot of speeches over the years. I know about those ones. Nobody likes those ones. I get it. But man, talk about a guy that could pump you up, get you fired up. There's a lot more to the Warrior if you're a hardcore Warrior fan that's just on the surface. And he could inspire you in the gym. He could inspire you going to work. I've told stories of my life and my career going up to a big job interview over the years and getting pumped up and inspired by the Ultimate Warrior's messages on some things. And he's definitely one of the all-time greats and one of the most inspirational in a lot of ways. And yes, I know. But in this, we're talking wrestling. That's what we're talking about. And definitely got me fired up. There's no doubt about it. So to have this represented in action figure form, of course, the suit, the overcoat, the mask, the beautiful head sculpt, just it does not get better than this in the suited figure variety game from Mattel. Just one of the all-time great figures. Is it the most iconic Ultimate Warrior? No, it's not WrestleMania 6 Ultimate Warrior. It's just something on a whole entirely different level here. It's such a great figure. And this is, of course, my #1 suited figure, but a lot of people bought multiples of these to make Ric Flair in a suit, to make other characters in a suit. So that's how good this suit is, that people were buying it to make customs for other figures. I totally get that. And of course, the words "no warrior left behind" were invented with this Ultimate Warrior when it was on the shelf pegs. Even going to clearance, I said, I can't turn down this warrior. I got to pick this warrior up. So I do have this a few times in my collection. I do display one with just the suit. I display one with this. I display one with the mask on. You get the thing. And I like this one so much, I actually bought a prototype version of this Ultimate Warrior for my collection as well. Just an all-around great figure. Does not get better than this in the suited department. This is a high bar that I don't know if Mattel will ever beat. Honestly, with my love of the Warrior, I don't see them ever beating this one. But definitely cool. No matter how you think about the Warrior or not, it is a cool figure. And like I said, so many people use this as a custom for other figures like Ric Flair and things like that. No doubt about it, you can't deny the greatness of this figure. So Ultimate Warrior Legends coming in at #1 in my top 5 suited figures list of all time via Mattel. Maybe we'll do a Jax one of these days. We easily could do that. But let me know your list once again in the comments down below. Make sure you do put them in order. That is the hard part. That is the fun part. And don't forget to like this YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit the old notification bell. And for early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&A, pizza reviews, dog stuff, you name it, a ton of stuff, head on over to the old Patreon, your best way to support the channel and all the content. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the top 5 suited WWE Mattel figures of all time, I'm Kyle, and I'm headed to work.